Welcome everyone, it's Gray Shirt Guy, rocking the gray shirt as always. Got the cute sleepy pupper in the back. She's a prima donna. She saw that I had the camera on. She just crawled her way over. So yeah, doing a little quick studio update. Is the 21st of February 2024. And yeah, so we finally finished the Helldrake. Just about a little under 3 weeks since I last posted my update. Finished the Helldrake about 2 days ago, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, and started working on the next project. So we'll kind of dive right into it. Before we get into what we've done, there's not really a whole lot of reveals that I really want to talk a huge bunch about. There's some new Tau stuff, some new Kroot models, the Dark Angels. They got some more stuff coming in the pipeline. They're coming out for pre-order soon. So nothing too crazy that really affects me. I have been thinking about whether or not I want to trade in or sell my Old World's army. I have so many armies, so I'm not really sure if I want to get into a rank and flank system and go through the process of rebasing it. So I might. And the models are mostly assembled, some are sub-assembled, and only a few of them are painted. So we might see about that, but I'm sure. Not just kind of leave them in the display case for now, but we'll make some decisions later on. And it kind of really spawned because there's not a whole lot of rule books available, and I'm kind of still waiting for the releases to roll out for Empire of Man, which I don't know when that's going to happen. It looks like we're going to get orcs before we get anything else. Just kind of seeing where we're going with that. But let's get into what we have painted. All right, so yep, the Night Lord's Helldrake took quite a while. The trim itself, I would say, took about 3 to 4 days of solid work. The last you saw, the blue was already on there, but the trim took most of it. The lightning effects, I only did the lightning effects on the 2 front wings and not the full wing, just kind of like the tips of the wing. The lightning, that didn't take me too long. Obviously, it doesn't look like it definitely looks hand done. But that's 3 layers of blue. That's some Cantor blue. Oh, let me kind of just go into the whole thing. So I used Cantor blue for the blue base coats, and I used Warp Lock bronze, Warp Fire bronze. I forget, Warp something bronze. It's one of the Citadel bronzes. It used to be called Tin Bits. Used that for the trim, and then I used Vallejo gunmetal for the metallics just because I had it. And then I did some red effects with corn red, I think, yeah. And then I did an entire overall after I got the base coats on. I assembled it, which was interesting once you've painted it, trying to assemble it with super glue. I assembled it, and then I did an overall, what do they call that? AK Interactive Streak and Grime. I did an overall Streak and Grime wash. And then I used some odorless mineral spirits and a makeup sponge and like 30 Q-tips, and kind of slowly worked off the Streak and Grime. Once that was done, I went back in and did the lightning effects and the glowing red effects with the airbrush. And then I worked on the base, and the base sort of matches similar to the other Chaos Space Marines. So in the original scheme, or the last video, I believe I mentioned that I was going to go from the Helldrake into some Chaos Space Marines, working on some Fallen. But this project and all the trim was just so much that I decided I wanted to pivot to a project or to an army that I really want to talk about and really want to kind of dive into. And so we're going to talk about that. So but first, let's bask in the lovely, let's look at some of these cool models. Now, if you're on my Instagram, you've already seen a 360 of this. And I have an Imgur link, but I don't really post it here. Anyways, so kind of going through him. I do like the photo box for some things. It's pretty cool, but yeah, nice little shot on there. Of course, the Helldrake intentionally is tilted that way. I did think about what it would be cool if we took a Vendetta or something, and we sort of mashed a Vendetta and like a Mauler Fiend together to make a Helldrake. That would be kind of cool, because I never want to ever paint another Helldrake ever again with how much trim. But we'll just keep on going. And of course, it's like weirdly hollow throughout the whole body. Makes it really light though, so that's cool. get some left, a little zoom in shot on the wings, a little focus shot of the whole body. Get that base in there, and it looks really nice. I do like how it turned out, but like the whole process up until even the streak and grind was kind of concerning. But once I started doing the lightning effects and threw on the red glow, like I think it really kind of came together. And the base was pretty quick to do. But yeah, here's an underside. So if you're not, if you probably won't ever really see the underside in any bat reps or any gameplay. And if you see, it is sort of offset here in the center. And I did have to kind of dig this out a little bit so it fits perfectly on the base. So I did have to kind of scrape and widen this just a little bit. But yeah, so they got the red glow from the engines. And I didn't really want to do red glow on every exhaust port. I did some on the tail exhaust port. Of course, I did the red glow for the Infernal Flamethrower, or whatever they call it. But yeah, mostly just a base coat plus a lot of streak and grime. Didn't do the lightning effects on the underside, mostly because it's not really going to be seen. And I kind of like the idea of if he is shooting lightning because he's Night Lords, which I don't think they actually shoot lightning. I think it's mostly just pattern, but who knows? Maybe they do shoot lightning. But if he is shooting lightning, I wanted to be charging coming out of the front wings. That's kind of how I wanted it to go. And how the tip looked. And the eyes, I didn't touch the eyes at all until I used the red. And it's just two different reds. It's like a scarlet red and then a bloody red. Or maybe it's gore red. They're Vallejo game air colors, but one is just like a slightly darker red and one's a brighter red. So just shot those out of the airbrush. And I kept the flesh black. I thought the black flesh kind of really fit the Demon Engine vibe. Just another angle. And I once the Helldrake was done, I was like, nice. Never going to do it again. Really happy that I have one. And also, for the longest time, ever since I had built it before I moved, it's just been a bunch of pieces on cork. And it wasn't like a realized creature, and now it's like a completely done thing, and I was pretty happy about it. At least internally, I'm just like, ugh. Mostly I'm just like so happy I don't have to deal with it anymore, but I am like now looking at it, I'm like, yes, we finally got the Helldrake done. I've been looking at the Helldrake ever since it came out, like 10 years ago, and I could have sworn I had a Helldrake at one point in time, but it definitely didn't look anywhere near as nice as this one. If I may have bought it and just like broke it or something, I can't remember. But yeah, then we got the blood action, shooting some red in there. And then the base. The base is mostly, let's see. It was, at first I did it charred brown. And then I realized that, oh, wait a minute. The bases for all of my other Chaos Space Marines is like a gray base with snow effects on it. So I was like, what? So I started shooting grays onto it, mixed the grays and browns together. All of the little debris is all just gunmetal. I thought about doing the shells in a bronze or brass. I just went with metal on all of them, kind of keep it all kind of cohesive. Then went back through it with a Agrax Earthshade and Nuln Oil, and then some rust effects with Rise of Rust mixed with some brown to kind of tone down the rusty orange, and threw on some just Citadel snow effects, and I think it turned out pretty well. But yeah, so as of I think it was yesterday, the day before, we're at 50 days when I took this picture of since I last bought a model. Haven't bought any models. My wife buying me a couple models doesn't count as me buying models, but haven't bought any models for myself. So I did for Valentine's Day get a command squad, which is going to be for the project we're talking about. I got that as a gift, so that is where the unassembled did go up 5 models. So we went from 501 to 506. But I did get to, I have an unassembled unpainted, went down 1, painted 1 up. You know, it's a big model, still only counts as 1. I think we're at day 52, no models bought, so keeping with the spirit of the challenge. All right, let's work into what we got next. All right, moving on to Steel Legion. So I've had these metal Steel Legion models for a little over, I'd say, somewhere between 1 and 2 years, like 1.5 years, 2 years. Before they completely discontinued Steel Legion, because Steel Legion were on Games Workshop's website up until I think the latter half or early half of 2023. I was just kind of looking around at all the models I had, and because I think I had just finished Morty and Iron Guard, at some point I just was like, yeah, sure, and I went and bought 6 squads of Steel Legion troops. And about a week or two maybe about a month after I bought them, they went out of stock. And I did at one point pick up the metal Commissar Yarrick. So I have a metal Commissar Yarrick, and I picked up another. No, this one I had for a while. So yeah, this is the overview. This is a little bit over 2,000 points. There's some models for this army that aren't in the picture. Though the command squad, because we're waiting on the Acadian accessory sprue, because I got the Acadian command squad, but we're going to run as platoon command squad. We're waiting on that and the accessory sprue to get the gas mask helmets, because all these other Steel Legion have gas mask helmets, so I kind of wanted to keep the theme with the gas mask helmet. So once that shows up, then I'll assemble the command squad, and then we also have the what do they call them? We have a few other things. We have a super heavy, I think it's called Stormblade. It's the one with the giant plasma cannon. I'm saving that for when I'm completely done painting this, and then I'm going to go assemble that super heavy with a plasma cannon and paint that and really give it some attention. And I also have a Marauder bomber that is down on my storage, down on my display cabinet that I haven't painted yet. So that one's going to get added into this list to get roughly around 3,000 points worth of Steel Legion once we get it all set and done. So let's kind of go into it. So obviously we have a Macarius, just heavy battle tank. And I have two of them. I'm not sure what army the other one's going into. Maybe Vestroyans, maybe Valhallans. I haven't really decided yet. I do have a different Forge World vehicle, more for the Valhallans. But so we do have the Macarius. I felt like it would be a good addition to have one of these, because I have some Vanquishers. Anyways, but I felt like this was a good addition for this color scheme. And obviously I could use it in other lists or army designs, but I wanted this color scheme to be used for this vehicle. So we got one of those, 3 Chimeras. These just bog standard heavy bolter Chimeras. Now so these were built before the new codexes came out. So these were built a while ago, and so now you have free war gear. But these were built back when you didn't really have free war gear. And I don't remember. I don't think can't remember if the Chimera kit came with the heavy stubber or not. It might have came with that accessory sprue, or I may have used it on other models. I'm not 100% sure. But I know I didn't put any 100 killer missiles on here, and I have decided, because for now 100 killer missiles and heavy stubbers are free for everybody. I'm just going to print out some tokens, or just on some card stock or something, make some tokens to represent those warrior options. Just kind of put those on top of the vehicles. Instead of having to go model them, and then maybe 2 or 3 editions down the road, 100 killer missiles are no longer free and heavy stubbers are no longer free. So I didn't want to deal with that. But right now we just got some turret heavy bolter, hull heavy bolter, and of course we got the lasgun array. So we got 3 of those, and the idea is that 3 of the infantry squads are going to go into these guys. We have 6 regular infantry squads. Going to run them as regular bog standard guys. We got all the sergeants they're all going to be loaded up the same. We got the sergeants with the las pistol chainsword. We have a grenade launcher, and then we have one guy with a voxcaster. And then what you don't see in one of the future pictures, one of the pictures I'm going to show you in a little bit, they have missile launchers, and that's just what the Steel Legion came with. They did a made to order last year. Actually, probably, no, it was a little bit later in the year, but they did it around late summer, springtime. They did a made-to-order run for some las cannons, some heavy bolters, I think auto cannons, and some special weapons. But the cost of the plasma guns alone, getting 6 plasma gun guys, was just going to be way too much. So I decided, grenade launchers are fine. I had ordered a couple heavy weapon teams, but with having to move, the made-to-order did not arrive in time, so didn't end up getting that. I still have my made-to-order for Battle for McCrag, just waiting, or just on order, but we don't know when that's ever going to come. It's supposed to be within 180 days, but we'll see. But yeah, so we got 6 of those. The idea is 3 on those and the Chimeras, and the other 3 are going to be in one of the other vehicles. All right. Oh, yep. Close up of the Macarius. Right now I have 2 Vanquishers and 2 Makari's battle tanks, and I'm just going to put the battle tank in this one. And then I had to rebase these Sentinels, and they were on 60 millimeter bases, but now the Sentinels are 80, so I rebased them onto 80s. Rebasing wasn't too difficult for the most part. A couple of them were kind of hard to get off the base, but managed to not have to break the model. They don't have any Sentinel chain swords, but they do have Hunter Killer missiles and las cannons. This is a Chimera proxy, third-party Chimera, from Victoria Miniatures. I forget what it is, some other APC. And so I went with the Flamer Hull, Flamer Turret on this guy. This guy is going to be kind of special. So we have a Commissar who is the old Metal Yarrick, and so this is going to be the Commissar's Chimera. Kind of similar to Fortress of Arrogance for the Baneblade. But since he's been downgraded to a regular non-named Commissar, we're going to throw him inside this thing. And it's got a black primer right now, but I'm going to do a nice whole overall black base coat with the airbrush. And then the plan is to paint every single rivet, which if you see, there's a lot of rivets on this thing, so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out. That will be pretty fun if I end up painting every single rivet. But yeah, it's mostly just going to be kind of like a fancy Commissar vehicle. And then here, if you see this tank commander right here, this is going to be the overall color scheme for all of the vehicles except for the Commissar one. And I couldn't figure out exactly what color. This was kind of funny. I had a picture of the paints I used for this color scheme, but all the bottle labels were turned around, so I couldn't actually read them. And I think this was Dawnstone. I know that this was Dead Flesh, Vallejo Air Dead Flesh, but I think this was Dawnstone. I tried to do a color match right here to see what it was. But I've chosen a very similar shade, light shade gray for the other vehicles. So we're going to be doing the same stripe pattern. This is, I'm pretty sure I had a video of this like a year or two ago when I painted this test model. But yeah, we will be taking this tank commander with, and we'll be replicating the same color scheme and same style on the rest of the army. So we'll be using Agrat color shade in here, kind of keeping the bolters the same color. Maybe knocking the tone down just a little bit and trying to do all of the, trying to really replicate what we have here, because I did really enjoy painting this guy. Same thing with the little shield marking on one of the sides. Doing the red and the white worked out pretty well. Right here we have a Victoria Miniatures 10-man like Van Devils or whatever. They're supposed to be like Australian inspired. These are all ladies, and they are going to be they represent a Kasserkin squad. So we got plasma pistol, power sword. We got 2 flamers and 2 melta-guns and a boxcaster. Not an ideal loadout for Kasserkins, but I just happen to have these models and I thought that looked cool. And we have the old metal Commissar Yarrick. So what's going to happen is these ladies are going to be in this black Chimera with the Commissar as like the Commissar's bodyguard, just kind of going around the battlefield and just doing what they do best. And it'll be fun. My plan is to paint these black. I have to so I had to change the weapon options from what they had on them before. I'm going to prime them black again, but then I'm going to paint them Corvus black. And I don't know if I want the. I'm going to add. It's mostly just going to be black and red, and then skin tones, and then it's going to be the normal way to paint a Commissar. I'm going to try to paint him as best as I can. Moving on over. So we have the heavy weapon teams. They were on 60 millimeter bases, but heavy weapon teams went from 60 millimeter to 50. So I got 6 50 millimeter bases right here, threw some basing material on them. But I decided I wanted to give these guys some more attention and detail. So all of the 12 models are corked and on little stands. So they're all ready to go. Okay, yep. So heavy weapon teams, missile launchers, going to have some fun. My plan for these, they are not going to be the traditional tan cloaks or whatever. They're going to be, I'm going to do a gray Flecktarn for the jackets. Or no, I'm going to do a green Flecktarn for the jackets. And then for the boots are probably going to be black. And then the pants or anything else that's, I think the boots and the gloves are going to be black. And then everything else is going to be just a gray. And their weapons are going to be kind of a standard gray and everything. So we're going to do a slightly different color scheme for the Steel Legion, but I think it's going to look really good with the gray and the green. And I'm going to do the Flectarn camo pattern. And so I did it before, and I really enjoyed it. And it was kind of fun. You want to ask me if it's going to be fun after I do it on this many models, but I think it'll look cool. We have a Crassus armored transport, so it can hold 35 guys. So we're going to put 3 infantry squads. That'll be 30, and then we'll add the command squad. And the command squad is going to have, obviously, the company commander, or the platoon command squad is going to have platoon commander, a Vox, no, not a Voxcaster. Is it a Voxcaster? No, regimental standard and a medic, and then a plasma gun, melta-gun, no Voxcaster. And so the Cadian command squad kit, I'm going to have to use some green stuff to fix the Voxcaster because they don't really, the way the kit comes, it's kind of designed to have the Voxcaster, so we're going to have to figure that out. And then what we have left is we have a Manticore and a Death Strike missile launcher, and so I had to do a bunch of subassembling. The plan is if I paint everything subassembled a certain way, I should be able to raise and lower the platform for both missile pods. And then if you see right there, we have the Lord Solar, but it's been a kit bash Lord Solar with the old Commissar Yarrick. Well, not the old. So the old one, metal one's there. This is the remaster of Commissar Yarrick when he was in Finecast, and I was able to take the Lord Solar model and then basically kit bash on I think it was the torso and the head and the claw and the Stormbolter on his hip, and that'll be my Solar Lord Leontis for all of my armies. But he's going to be specifically sort of kind of painted towards the Steel Legion, but he's in the army, and I think that might be it. So about 86 or so models to kind of help chunk that list down, but that's pretty much it. And I don't think we're going to really have any other updates. Really excited. Finally got the basing material done for all of these, and so we're going to do some priming tomorrow, and hopefully this weekend the other bits for the command squad show up so I can assemble those. And so once this stuff plus the command squad is painted, then we're going to do the super heavy, and we'll do the flyer in the same color scheme as the rest of the armor. So yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it, and hope you guys have a good one, and I will talk to you next time. If you feel free to support the channel, there's always the link to my novel down below. You can get it in both paperback and ebook on Amazon, Kindle, things like that. But aside from that, I don't really have anything. Hope you guys have a great one. Goodbye.